going on, guys? Welcome back. Another video, second official video. Like I said in the other one, this is going to be about installation of all the suspension stuff I got from Skunk2 on the Civic, which I have here in front of me and you have not seen yet. I'm going to tell you right now, my car's been on jack stands for a week and it kind of rained, so it's super dirty. This thing is going to get some much needed TLC. After I put the suspension on, we'll do a full wash. I might probably wax it up again, but this car is an 07, like I said. It's got the typical SI paint fade stuff happening on the roof. It's a small spot, but you know, it's not pretty. It's not a show car. It's my daily driver, but still is a good looking car. I love this car, and I am eventually probably going to get a new paint job because I really don't want to get rid of this car. I just love it that much. So just refurbish the whole thing and call it good, but that's later down the road. So I'm going to just go walk around the car right now, show you what I have on the car, which is not much. It's pretty stock. Maybe talk about a little bit of the plans for it, just to make it more fun for daily driving, and you know, some looks, aesthetic stuff, and you know, typical stuff, nothing crazy. I got the track car for all the crazy stuff. So but yeah, so let's get into it. So here's the car. First of all, like I said, it's the Nighthawk Black Pearl, and it's 07 Civic Si FA5. So I have nothing done suspension wise on the back. It's all stock. Brakes are stock, exhaust is stock, everything's stock back here. But we're gonna get the nice addition. You know, we got the new sport shocks here, and then we'll have the lowering springs that go on here. So that's gonna be nice to have that back there. And then you got the front. I've done a little work up front here, and I did upgraded brakes. I got drilled and slotted rotors and some race pads and stuff like that for you know, just better stopping. I just love having that ability to stop better. So and then you got front shocks. You know, look at this thing's totally blown. The freaking rubber boot around it's gone. The shocks are blown, 170,000 miles. So we're gonna get into that. So all right, so that was the suspension stuff I showed you. Now I'll kind of just show you the engine bay. It's all stock, like I said. The only thing I have is the battery relocate kit, cold air intake from K20, which this thing's amazing. I noticed instant throttle response, power gains, everything. And I have a Pioneer deck, the in-dash 7-inch, and it's actually hooked up to the OBD2 port, and I have a couple gauges on there, and one does give me intake air temperature, which is ridiculously low thanks to that cold air intake. That thing is, it's really working. So on my gauge, it's ambient temperature outside of say 80 degrees. That thing's reading at like 82. So it is legit getting the coldest air it possibly can. It's not getting any heat soak from the engine. So I recommend that intake. It's not carb legal in California, but I kept my stock intake. You know, I'll throw it back on there when I go to smog. So no big deal. It's an easy swap. So, but yeah, so check this out. I didn't want to have the hose going from here, you know, over here again, so I plugged it. It's got the little K20 breather valve. Looks cool. I don't know, I might take this off, paint it, I don't know, nothing crazy. And then I also got the Acuity shifter bushings. That's an absolute must on a Civic. That helps so much with the shifting. I got the Odyssey PC680. I don't know if you can see it down there. It's a good small battery. Thing can be mounted upside down, backwards, diagonal, whatever the hell you want. So that's a great battery. But other than that, it's the car. I got little, you know, window visors and window tint, stuff like that. It's not, you know, I debadged it. I got the Honda, I got the JDMHs. That's it though. I mean, like I said, stock in the back, everything, soon to not be. And the fronts, yeah, the brakes is the only thing up there. But I mean, same on this side. This is the driver's side. The boots are just gone. Like they're just little donut rings now. It's hilarious. So yeah, they're definitely blown out. And I already took off the windshield guard or canal or whatever you want to call this thing. This is a must to take off to get into here. You got to get your 3 bolts there, 1, 2 right in there, and then the other one's down in there in the back. So that holds the strut mount. Like I got those KYBs that'll go right up in there. Same with this side. You got 3 bolts right there. Take off 1, 2, 3. You have to unhook the windshield washer fluid hose to get your little canard off. Other than that, that's all it is to get the suspension work done. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get into that. And yeah, you'll see a little time lapse of me working on it, and I'll probably go in there and show you mid install of what's going on, and give you a little, maybe some tips and tricks on how to do it efficiently, because I have done it before. So it's pretty simple though. I mean, anybody with normal car knowledge could do it. So, but yeah, all right, let's get to it. Well, I thought that was set up for time lapse, but it was on regular video. I'll time lapse the next one. But anyways, it's out. The stock one is out. And there's your hole up there where it goes. And there it is right there. Junk. Look at that. What the heck is that? It's called blown out, is what it's called. She gone. Done. The whole thing's trash. So, alright. On to the next one. Well, we were partially successful today. Got the fronts off, got the rears off, but I noticed while I was about to change out and do all the fronts, because I was like, oh, I bought everything. I got the shock, the spring, and the strut mount. Well, come to find out, you need this rubber piece and you need that rubber piece to put the spring to sit here and sit here, so then it's not rubbing metal on metal. But I don't have the spring compression tool, so I go to AutoZone, and of course they don't have it, so that's going to be put on hold till tomorrow. So whatever, I got the backs off, got the fronts off, everything's off, as you can see here. Nothing in the front, ready to go. Back shocks are off. I can't get the springs out. I've seen people do it with two people, but I'm by myself. One person pulls this down real hard. The other guy pulls this out while he's pulling that down. There's no way I can do it. This is way too tight. There's no way. Even if I stand on it, I can't reach it to pull it out. And they're doing it on a lift where they can really get some force and pull down. Obviously my car's on the ground, not gonna do that. So I'll use a spring compression tool on there to pull that, slam these together, and then it should just pop out. It's just sitting in there. It's not bolted in or anything, so it should be fine. So yeah. What's going on, everybody? It is the next day. So I was able to get the spring McPherson strut compression tool, whatever you want to call it. I just call it the spring compression tool. So we're gonna compress the old springs off the old strut, because I need those rubber pads that go on the top and the bottom. So we're gonna do that, and then we'll be able to assemble the new fronts together. So like I said yesterday, it's this rubber piece for the top, and then it's this guy here on the bottom. So you got to get those off, put them on the new springs in that box, and then we can put them on the new struts down there. And that's the tool right there. I think a lot of people have seen this tool before that have ever done suspension work. So basically you got little lips here. These lock in, they go right underneath, they go hook it like that, and I'll show you once it's on there. And then you put one on each side, one on this side, one on this side, and then it's got on here, use your impact gun, and it just freaking squeezes this together to get the pressure. This is under a lot of pressure here, so that'll handle that. And then I'm gonna do it on the backs over there as well to get this back spring out. Same thing, you're gonna compress them. I can able to just pull it out from that point. So that's where we're at. So all right, let's get on it. All right, I cut the time lapse because I need to show you in depth what happened here. So it was moving quickly, but okay, so I did all the stuff. I compressed the spring and everything, and when I went to pull the top hat off, it literally fell apart into pieces. So this is what the new one looks like together, because inside there is the bearing. There's a bunch of bearings everywhere, or like in there, and you can clearly see there's bearings. This thing literally popped apart. Look at this. Everything just fell apart, and the bearings just toast. Like it wasn't even in there good. It's just gone completely. That is what 170,000 miles looks like, and probably why I was getting noise while driving down the street on my suspension. Crazy. I'll bet the other one's gonna do the same exact thing, but this thing just literally blew into pieces and came apart. Like it was supposed to be like something like that, but it's just gone. So that's that. Just wanted to show you guys that. Insane. All right, just got the fronts completely on. Wow, that was a little more, wasn't difficult getting them on at all. That was easy. But what I noticed big time, and I'll go ahead and, this is for anyone that has a FA5 that's gonna do this setup, it's a clean setup. The actual shock, strut, whatever you wanna call it, the body of it, this part here is shorter on the sport shocks. So it being shorter, luckily the springs are shorter because they're lowering springs, but they're not that much shorter than the stock ones. So when I go to put it on, you got to compress the springs. So no matter what, you need the spring compression tool, but the spring compression tool is so thick on the teeth that grab the spring that once you compress it, it pushes the spring really close together. So this, like, you have the hook on one spring with the spring ring above it, it's compressing the whole thing. And then once you get it down enough to put the top nut on to hold the strut mount on, it let you take the, you take the tension out of the spring compression tool. It doesn't let you get it out because now it's too tight in there. So I had to like ghettoly use the strut compressor and hook it to the underside of the mount and all this stuff. And I had to use one of these. I had to use one of these right here to do one side, just because I couldn't, this thing was too thick to put in there. So as I was compressing it, it was bringing the springs closer together and it would get stuck. Once it was all on, I couldn't get it out. So I had to redo it. I hooked the bottom one to the underside of the strut here on the Skunk 2 ones, and then just hooked one spring, and then use this on the other side because this is thin and it's not, you know, it got in there. It's got an angle on it right here, so that was kind of a pain in the butt for sure. But I'm just wondering how the car is going to sit. I'm hoping it's still only going to lower it the amount of the springs, which is what I want, not lower because the shocks are shorter. But either way, I'm probably going to like it. It's not going to be too bad. It's definitely not like coilovers where it's going to be slammed. I don't think they built them like that. So, but here's the after, what it looks like. Looks cherry. Looks really good. That's it. That's all it is. Got the bolts back on here, and you got to put your speed sensor clip in and your brake line bolt. And that's it. And that thing's done. You got your 3 bolts up here that you have to hook on right there. 1, 2, 3. Same up here. 1, 2, 3. Got those tightened in. The top nut is tight right in there. That's what actually holds the strut, you know, together. So that's in. And this is the driver's side. Cherry. See, rubber things up in there. That's what it looks like. Skunk 2 sport shocks. We'll see. I bet this thing's gonna feel good. Remember, speed sensor clip, put that in. Brake bolt. I still have to tighten this one, but because I started filming before I did it, I didn't forget. Yeah, I got to do that, and then we're gonna go to the back. So we'll see how that goes. All right. All right, well, everything's in, it's done. That was a little more difficult in the back than I thought. I actually had to call a buddy to come over to help me get some leverage on the back, because you got to pull down the control arm in the back. I had to take the camber arm off, get my pry bar and pry the lower control arm and push it down to slip that spring in there, because you can't get the spring compressor tool in there. So just think about that when you go to do this. You cannot put that tool in there. There's no room to do it. Doesn't work. So if they made a slim version or something real small, maybe it'll work, but man, that was not. I got one in by myself and I just couldn't get the passenger side. There's no way. I don't know, I couldn't get it. So but anyways, check it out. So here it is. It's all done. Springs are in. I used zip ties. I compressed the spring outside, then I used zip ties to hold it. So I just got to cut those off. Shocks in. Looks real nice. Looks real nice. Here's the driver's side. Boom. She looks real good. Real nice. Check out the fronts again. Look at that. That's a beauty. That is a beauty. There's the fronts right there. So yeah, that's it. That's it, guys. Not too bad. Like I said, no super special tools needed or anything. Just that strut spring compressor, but you only get to use it on the fronts. The backs doesn't do it. So that's it. Suspension's done. It's gonna pretty much do it for this video. In the next video, I'll show you. I'm gonna detail the car up. I got all the I got all the wheels painted, repainted. You saw some pictures on my Instagram if you follow me there. And you'll see them. And I'll show you what paint I use and stuff like that, just to kind of, if you guys want to paint your wheels. This stuff was super good. It worked out really well. But yeah, man, it came out great. Everything's on, and it's gonna be good to go. So I'm excited to see how it looks lowered, because this is gonna lower it down probably like 1.5 inches, something like that. So I can't remember. It might be a little bit more, like 1.75 or something. So It's gonna look really nice. I'm gonna detail the car, like I said. I'm gonna clean the engine bay. The engine bay is filthy. It's absolutely filthy. It's hard to see in the video, but I mean, look at this right here. Look at that. And that's just daily driving it, and I drive on the road only. Like, I don't drive down dirt roads to get anywhere or anything like that. She's just dirty, so that's what happens. And it's rained a little bit too, and that makes it a little bit dirtier. So, but yeah, next video will be wheels on, set it down, check out the stance. You do need to get an alignment after you do full shocks and springs replacement, just because it's absolutely necessary. You don't want to have any pulling or anything weird like that. So got to do that, and then clean the engine bay. I'll show you before and after of that, and we'll just keep rolling on projects, keep it going. All right, guys, well, I appreciate watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, each video is going to get better and better, so bear with me. And you know, just thanks for watching, and you know, hit that like button. Please subscribe if you like this stuff. It's going to keep on coming. Stuff on my truck, stuff on this car, and then the race car is going to really start happening. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on with that. So, all right, guys, peace.